Good Saturday evening, everybody. Meteorologist Mike Slifer here. We do not have a 6 p.m. newscast tonight due to the Belmont, but I did want to update everybody a little bit on the severe weather threat. I've got some good news and some bad news. We're going to start right now with a live look over Sebec Lake, looking live in Dover-Foxcroft, about 76 degrees. I wanted to show this camera in particular because of the sky, and you can actually see some of those lower level clouds. Also a few people out there enjoying the water, so if you've been soaking in the sunshine today before the clouds came in, it was a good day to spend some time by the lake or at the beach. Here's what the radar looks like right now. Really not all that impressed with it. Most of the showers that we've seen have missed us. I wasn't expecting to see showers quite as far south as York County either, but we did end up with some light sprinkles there. Those are currently ongoing, but will be wrapped up within the next 20 minutes or so. By 6:30, I think a lot of that will be pretty much done. What I am watching, though, are these storms that are just over the border of Vermont in Montreal. These, as they move south, are expected to keep this trajectory to make their way into Coas County and Carroll counties in New Hampshire, and possibly keep them, strength of them rather, keep their strength as they get into western Maine. And these are the ones that I am most concerned about with our severe weather risk. Yesterday I talked about it, and Ryan talked about it this morning too, about how this kind of came in two batches. We just got over the afternoon ones, and now we have to watch these ones. And we're in a bit of a unique setup that we will keep some of the energy for these storms to use even after sunset. So I think our severe weather threat doesn't really completely dissipate until about 11 o'clock tonight, maybe even midnight. I was watching this storm too. This one had a severe warning attached to it earlier. It was severe warn for strong wind gusts and hail. If you're in Oakfield or Holton or Hodgdon and actually ended up with a little bit of hail, you can always send those pictures in through the Near Me section of our app. Would love to see what you saw. From what I could tell on the radar, it was mostly heavy rain, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was some pea-sized hail mixed in. And the wind gusts on radar again looked to be about 35 or 40 miles an hour. But National Weather Service did warn it with the possibility of gusts approaching 60 miles an hour, which is certainly enough to cause damage. Hour-by-hour forecast for the next few hours. There's that next batch of storms. You can actually see it in the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont around 8 o'clock, and those are the ones that we watch as they move into Maine. And again, I don't think that we're completely done with that severe weather threat until about 11 tonight, maybe even midnight. After that, it's a bit muggy, some patchy valley fog possible, especially in western Maine. Temperatures tomorrow are going to spike quickly, almost 80 degrees as early as 8 a.m. A lot of humidity out there, and that, of course, sets the stage for a very hot day. Around 1 o'clock, could see a couple of showers pop up. We don't have the same dynamic support for severe weather as we do today, so I'm less concerned about it tomorrow. But I do think we're going to be hot and humid enough to allow for at least a couple of storms to fire. Really doesn't look to be a huge deal to me right now, and most will stay dry. High temperatures tomorrow, mid to upper 80s. A couple of spots in western Maine could approach 90, but the next chance for widespread 90s comes on Monday. Let's talk a little bit about a severe weather risk for the remainder of the evening. The Storm Prediction Center hasn't changed this too much, and I've been in conference with a couple other meteorologists around the region as well as the National Weather Service. What we think is most likely, given the data that came in around 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock this afternoon, is strong wind gusts underneath those storms. But I do want to mention that there is just enough rotation in our wind profile to potentially allow for a brief spin-up tornado. The chances are quite low, but not zero, which is why I wanted to mention that. However, I still think the biggest risk factor moving forward will be damaging straight-line wind gusts and maybe some small hail mixed into any of the stronger thunderstorms. Timing on that is until about 10 p.m. in western Maine, 11 p.m. in central Maine, and maybe even midnight for some spots along the mid-coast as those storms exit. We don't have any watches or warnings out currently, but should a watch be issued, what it means is that we have conditions favorable for severe storms to form. I don't know that we're actually going to see a watch get issued, but it's certainly possible given the setup we have. A warning means that the storm is either occurring or it's imminent, and that's what you see usually. A severe thunderstorm warning, that would be for like hail and wind gusts, or a tornado warning, which obviously would be for a tornado. that is when you have to take cover immediately, take action immediately, versus a watch, prepare, and just follow updates. Watches are issued for sometimes entire states, whereas warnings are on a storm-by-storm basis. If you liked that brief taste of humidity today, you're going to love tomorrow. See this front stalled out? That's why we could see a couple of pop-ups in the afternoon. But the hotter air is going to be steadily building, as well as a little bit of humidity moving back into the area too. Monday will be the hottest day this week. Forecast temperatures between 90 and 95 degrees just about everywhere except the coastline down east. And that hot air sticks around into Tuesday too. We'll see a cold front move through on Wednesday, and that's actually going to cool things off quite a bit for the end of the week. But here's what I'm looking at for forecast high temperatures on Monday. 95 Sanford, Freiburg, 93 Augusta, Waterville, 94 in Bangor, 92 in Caribou, 90 in Portland. The exception to this map, Rockland at 80, 78 in Bar Harbor. So coastal section still dealing with that ocean influence. Cold ocean water this time of year. Really tough to get those temperatures up, especially along the coastline down east and through the Penobscot Bay. Seas tomorrow around 3 to 4 feet, southwest wind around 10 knots. And of course, we will be keeping you updated with the remainder of the storm threat this evening. Tomorrow, an isolated pop-up mostly inland, but wicked hot Monday. The last hot day comes Tuesday. We cool off on Wednesday with a bit of a storm risk in the afternoon. Much cooler, very comfortable on Thursday. And even though Friday will actually be below average, it may even feel chilly to some people versus the 90s we'll be dealing with the next few days. I still think Friday is going to be a pretty nice day. Very similar at the coastline, couple of degrees cooler on Monday and Tuesday, but still around 90. So still fairly hot. Cools off on Wednesday, cooler but comfortable Thursday, and then next week we'll be talking about end of next week, we'll be talking about upper 60s and low 70s for forecast high temperatures. A couple of things I want to mention here. If you want to follow along with the storms that pop up later today, a great way to do that is on our app and website, Interactive Radar. Plus, if you download the new Center Maine app, you will get push alerts that actually will get sent to you based off location if there is a warned storm in your area. And my personal favorite part of this is the near me section. So after those storms move through, instead of just tweeting at me and saying, hey, we got some hail, you can send a picture in, and maybe we'll share some of those on air. But it's also very helpful for us to see what those storms actually produced, and we send the data into the National Weather Service too. Other than that, we will see you tonight on. In the meantime, you can always reach me on social media. But until then, have a great night, and we'll see you then.